ready.
Ready for this?
I'm never ready.
Let's get ready to rumble. Just kidding.
No.
We can't rumble?
That's trademark.
Rumble?
Actually.
Oh, it
Rumble
is?
in the jungle, baby. Ready to rumble. Wait, which one is straight?
So
The movie or the guy saying it?
the guy saying it.
Obviously. Name that guy right
Isn't
now.
it Vince McMahon or something like that? Or something? I don't know. Something like that?
My God.
No. So Vince McMahon is the
Vince McMahon.
No, it's not Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon that you're thinking of is the guy that owns the WWE with Triple H.
Oh.
That announcer, which the name is escaping me, works for boxing. But
He's a boxing legend. Boxing announcer. You want me to say anything?
Yeah.
yeah.
Michael Buffer.
Michael Buffer.
But
Yeah.
yes, the "Are you ready to rumble?" is trademarked, but only in that fashion of saying it. Like if you say it like that, it's trademarked.
So if we leave that in the video, are we going to get sued?
Maybe.
Hello and welcome to the Irresponsible Comic Book
Let's get ready to
Podcast.
rumble. But like he
Let's
does, are you
get
ready to
ready
rumble? Not the end.
To go to
Like,
court.
I think we'll be okay. We're pretty small time.
No one's going to care. But anyways,
He's
hello
gonna DM us. He's gonna be like,
what did you
what the
guys
hell,
think
guys?
you're doing?
Right? Cease and desist.
Oh, no. Anyways, hello and welcome to the Irresponsible Comic Book Podcast. My name is Evan. I'm the producer here. I'm with Wildcard William and our resident expert Dylan. Today we have a couple things we're going to talk to you about.
Oh, snap.
First being some Moon Knight
hold on.
stuff.
What episode is this?
This is episode 3 of the IRCP.
Season 1, episode 3?
Yep.
Dude, you just you did the you fell into the traditional trademark.
Uh-oh.
No guy will give you the 3.
Oh, yeah.
Just like this.
Yeah. I keep seeing that video everywhere. I don't understand it, but
I don't
literally
care.
I always do this when people say 3. Is that not what people do?
I mean, I do this, but like
I did it. I'm like, give me 3.
Freaking weird. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a basketball player and I like would do this all the time, or like the mellow celebration.
level 3, yeah,
that's got to be
really,
it.
yeah.
That's got to be why I choose to do that instead.
Maybe.
Let's go Nugs. Anyways, so we're here to talk about
What the
some of
nuggets from
the
what?
news for Moon Knight. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't hear that. And we're gonna talk about some anniversary news and some big old numbers.
Uh-oh.
big old numbers.
So there's a lot going on with Moon Knight recently. So we're going to talk about the tailgate under the moonlight. The trailer gates. The trailer gates have opened. And all hell is breaking loose. Quite literally in some of these trailers. Does anybody want to explain some of the footage we've seen from some of the new shorter ads and TV spots?
I haven't seen a lot of them personally, but I do know we have seen one of them from Moon Knight, where, what is the actor's? Ethan Hawke?
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke is walking around and he slams his staff into the ground and starts opening a portal to, I would assume, some form of Egyptian realm.
Yes.
I think they say a name of like what they're trying to summon, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
I don't remember either. He does say something in his little enchantment spell or whatever just prior to that. But it seems like he's connecting to like the Egyptian hell or something like that. So
yeah, and then Moon Knight and or Oscar Isaac at that point. I think they're calling him Steven at this point when he's in his non-fighting form.
Yeah, Stephen Grant is one of his alter egos.
And whoever the girl that he's running around with trying to escape. The girl is the one that's trying to make him escape. He's just kind of sitting there going, "Ooh, that's kind of cool. What the heck is going on?"
Yeah. And I wanna say too, they're all. I believe, I could be wrong. It looks like this is shot in the museum at night or something like that.
It could be.
Could be.
I don't know if it's like in the Egyptian hall that like we're gonna see him spend a lot of time in, where he's curating content for the museum, or if this is like an alternate location or somewhere that like he's like trying to figure out what's going on with him. But there's like this whole chase down scene where they run up the stairs and whatnot, and then this animal or creature reaches its hand out from the gates of hell. And then in a second trailer or a different trailer, they're not, I guess, in order or any way, but in another trailer, there's like, you see that same creature fully out and about and attacking Moon Knight. I think it's that same scene where he's like jumping off the roof and like throwing his little moon rings or whatever. I don't know if that's what we're gonna call them. Moon rings?
Moon rings, or probably, or moonarangs. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they're just called crescents.
Probably.
Oh, I like that. I don't know a ton about Moon Knight, so. But he's like he's jumping off the building and throwing those at like henchmen or something like that. That could be in the same sort of sequence. I want to say that a lot of this footage is like the early on stuff. That's what we usually see from Marvel. With like occasionally they're like keeping a couple things in there that don't show up till later.
It's probably within the first 3 episodes, I would imagine.
Yeah. So a lot of interesting and exciting fast-paced stuff is going to come straight out the gate. Are we getting 6 episodes or 8?
I think it's 6 again.
I think it is 6 as well. Let's see. What else did we see in some of these trailers that was cool?
6 episodes.
6. Okay.
Final episode finishes on May the 4th. Star Wars Day.
Nice. There we go. So some of the other stuff we've seen in the trailer is more of an extended look at like the car chase scene where we see him fall out of the back of the truck. We see him like talking in a mirror or something where he can see his reflection to one of his alternate personalities, and they're like talking about what's going on inside him. He has like this funny line. He's like, "Are you just like living inside of me or something?" Because he's just like I mean, he has DID, so he's just all over the place.
He has a lot.
Almost,
yes.
like,
Moon Knight's throwing projectiles are called crescent darts.
Crescent darts. Interesting.
There you go.
Interesting. I wish they would call them.
I was half correct.
Yes, you got the first half of it. The darts part is a little weird because they function as boomerangs, not darts. I guess, do they call that down south in Australia? Do they call that down under? Do they call them darts?
No, they call them boomerangs.
Okay. For some reason, it sounds like...
They're literally called boomerangs because it's the who is the natives? I think it's
Aborigines, yeah.
It's boomerang is the Aborigine word for kill.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay.
So they use them primarily to break kangaroos' legs.
That's messed up.
And then if they miss, it comes back.
Yeah. Wow. Damn.
So
that's brutal. Kangaroos are dangerous, though. So
yeah, they are.
You don't want to get close. Especially... I guess that's why they use those.
Yeah, why not, right?
God damn. Dylan,
God damn.
Why'd you have to tell us this? I'm just imagining kangaroos dying now. This is all I can think about.
They consider them rodents, though, so it's not like...
Yeah, they are kind of like vermin in a way.
Yeah, just watch for one of those like National Geographic show where they show, you know, the wildlife of everything, and they show like animals killing them or killing other animals, pretty much.
Dang, nature, you scary.
Yeah, true. Let's see what else happened in these trailers. I'm trying to remember everything because there's like 6 or 7 of them that have dropped. I watched a
6. No, I'm only seeing like 2 official trailers.
There's like
these shorts.
These are like the short ones,
okay,
like
gotcha.
30 to 45 second ones. There's been like a couple that they've dropped like on their official, like Instagram and Twitter accounts. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other footage that we've seen outside of the original trailers. It's really good. There's like another sort of suit up scene where he's like looking in the mirror. That same sort of scene, and he like turns away and you see the reflection of him, like I think stay the same as he's like suiting up on the outside, unless I saw it wrong. It could be the same, him suiting up in the reflection as he's actually like suiting up as Moon Knight, where like the bands and wraps are coming around his face. But I think
I don't think I noticed the reflection.
Yeah, I want to say I could be remembering it wrong. I think I watched these all like last night like back to back, so it could be just mixing shots together. But I want to say they did like a really cool shot where his face stayed the same in the reflection as he like became Moon Knight, which was really cool.
Yeah.
What else? I don't think there's anything else that's like too groundbreaking. The biggest like reveal was that like Ethan Hawke has this staff that's probably from Egypt and something supernatural that he's using to bring these creatures into the world. He's also probably the big bad of this series. It seems more apparent.
I believe so.
I think that we all kind of guessed that based on the first initial trailer and how he seemed like this cult leader.
Just like Moon Knight, he'll have some Egyptian god connected to him.
Yeah, probably actually. So he has Moon Knight has Khonshu. He probably has like the god of like death or something like that connected to him.
Well, like Khonshu, what is Khonshu's powers? I can't remember. He's the god of what?
He's the god of moons.
So I would imagine like Ethan probably has like not the god of suns because that's Helios.
Yeah.
Or is it Helios?
Helios is from Greek mythology, actually.
No, so it's Horus.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But probably something like I don't think he would have Anubis or any of the death gods because that just doesn't seem like something that Ethan Hawke is going for, but more of like a mind controlling.
Yeah, that would make sense. Whoever's like the god of wisdom or something like that. Yeah, because like he does seem to like this cult leader personality vibe, like wanting to control the masses, wanting to probably like manipulate them through fear or whatever he's using through the staff. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I know there's something else I'm missing from this trailer that I'm going to think of later and go, wow, I can't believe I forgot about this.
I'm looking through all these things.
It's like 30 seconds, 45 seconds. It's probably like a tiny snippet of like something that I saw that I was like, oh shoot, that's crazy, or like a Easter egg, and I just can't remember it.
I'm looking through some, like, I guess it's like the elevator scene, something else, like him looking at the thing with his half suit. Yeah,
they did release the full rest of that elevator scene, like where he's like, oh, I lost my contact, and then she gets out and he like gets off on the third floor or whatever, and he's like, are we on the third floor? And he's like, what is happening, and then he turns around and Khonshu's right there in front of his face, and he's it's like a jump scare sort of thing. So they released that full scene. I don't know if there's anything else that I can remember off the top of my head.
I'm looking through here as well. Like, there's like maybe some of two things I'm not here, but I mean, they are doing a pretty good job at like hiding some of these things from us, per se.
Yeah, they always do.
Well, and even these scenes aren't going to be the exact scene that we see in the show.
No, absolutely not.
They're gonna definitely want to,
like some of the dialogue will match
take
up.
Some of the stuff out or add something that's not actually in the real scene.
Yeah. Like the Hulk not being part of the Avengers during the Infinity War.
What? One other thing that I wanted to note is we're probably not gonna. I don't know how we're going to be doing like the reviews for each episode. Who's going to be like taking on that load? That's something we'll probably have to talk about after this episode. But we're going to cover each episode, or at least somebody is, through this series, through the 6 episodes. And we're also going to do, I want to do this series with a former coworker of mine called Teaching Moms Marvel. And she was like the mom of our workplace, and she's basically like a second mom for me. And I might even bring my own mom onto the show as well. And I'm basically going to interview them and teach them what the heck is going on in this show. And I think in this one in particular, it'll be very funny. So you guys should stay tuned for those episodes.
Has your mom watched any of the Marvel stuff, though?
I think she watched WandaVision. And she enjoyed it, but she didn't really know what was going on. And
that's fair.
Roxanne,
I know Roxanne has watched a lot of the Marvel stuff, but still doesn't understand what's going on.
and that's exactly why I want to do this.
We could probably give her like the guess this superhero, this Marvel hero.
Oh yeah, no, she's gonna like. She came up with like even back for like Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision. She was like messaging me questions every single time she watched an episode, like, what is this thing? What is this going on? Who's this guy? What is this?
Why does it say Bucky is Sam's dad?
Yeah, I remember that one.
That was so funny, and then you're like, it's because he's his daddy.
Yeah, that was, yeah. But
you guys know her more personally. I know. I'm across the country.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna probably sit down. I mean, if Dylan wants to come over and ask questions as well, he's more than welcome to. But I was gonna like bring her into this room and like full on interview her. If you guys have seen like Recess Therapy, it's this guy who goes and interviews little kids and they just have these ridiculous answers. That's essentially what I want to recreate, but with middle-aged women trying to understand the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So
you're going up the mills. All right.
Yeah, pretty much.
The mom and the mom that he never had.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. So
we call the trigger saying, "Where is he?"
Oh my.
Like,
the funny thing is, both Evan's mom's names are Martha.
True.
Oh, why'd you say that name?
Why did you say that name?
Right.
Anyways,
what does it mean?
Stay tuned for those. Those should be pretty dang fun. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
However, we also have some other big news. It is our 1-year anniversary, sort of. Not technically.
Close to just the confetti and balloons falling and
yeah. Confetti cannon. I don't have any of those.
1-year anniversary banner.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Right across our faces.
Yep.
Yeah, our first video ever posted was on March 18th. So that was the first video on the channel. It was or actually not a review, but our predictions for like what the coolest top 5 changes would be in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And ironically, I mean, it's not ironically, literally we put that video out and the movie came out right around the same exact time. We posted it the day that it came out. Essentially, Zack Snyder's Justice League is 1 year old and a couple days now. So the Restore the SnyderVerse campaign has kind of been popping off. I've been watching it pretty closely on Twitter. It actually hit 500,000, almost 600,000 retweets within like 24 to 48 hours of the campaign going live. A lot of people are also planning for when the merger ends, because they're getting close to like finalizing that deal. Other people have like already stepped down, like we've talked about, but the merger's almost complete. So once that happens, they're also planning to do another mass tweeting of Restore the SnyderVerse. So you can expect to see something like that popping up here in the next few weeks as well.
Yes, sir.
They don't give up. I don't think I have really either. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I want to see the rest of Snyder's version. I want to see a Justice League 2. I want to see... We got leaked photos of what Wayne T. Carr would look like as Green Lantern because of this. I think Zach even shared them himself. And what's more interesting about this is they've had these photos, but they haven't been able to share them until this anniversary. But somebody at Warner Brothers has to give them the green light to share this. Essentially, the reason that they wouldn't be able to is because in the past they've said they're working on a Green Lantern HBO series that has not made any progress, and they don't want to convolute how people are perceiving the character. However, I think this is a big shift as of very lately with Spider-Man No Way Home. There's multiple versions of Spider-Man in the film, and everybody is aware of their existence. I think that it's becoming more acceptable to have more, because of that movie, to have multiple people play the role at certain times, which is why we're going to get Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton playing Batman in the Flash movie, and why Robert Pattinson is also the Batman. And there's all these actors playing him at the same time. Before this year, that's not something that was conceivable, maybe. So I don't know. I have my own thoughts.
Into the Spider-Verse was really the one that opened the door for
I guess that's right, yeah. Into the Spider-Verse and having multiple Spider-Man show up in the same film. Yeah, I mean, we'd seen that in like the old Spider-Man series where they had multiple Spider-Man team up as well in that. But that was
I think they saw how well Enter the Spider-Verse went, and they're like, okay,
yeah,
we can probably do something like this, and it probably will go.
Yeah, and I think more people playing the character at the same time isn't even a bad thing at all. I know, like for Arrow, they had to kill off like Amanda Waller because they were doing the first Suicide Squad movie, and they had like plans to do Harley Quinn that got shut down because Margot Robbie was going to be Harley Quinn, and they didn't want two different people playing Harley Quinn at the same time. As like then a couple years down the road, even I guess like it's been a process, but like Tyler
at that
Hoechlin,
time it was like ambiguous on like if they were going to be part of the movies.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, they didn't have any sort of actual concrete plans.
Yeah, they had like their own. If I remember, because they also had their own version on the Suicide Squad. So I remember, in the Arrowverse.
Yeah. There was different people playing Amanda Waller. Different people. I mean, I think they had like for Harley Quinn, they had like a sign that said Harley on it in like Argus's facility, and like she laughed, but they never showed who was playing her. And then because that movie got announced, they ended up killing Amanda Waller and cutting anything that had to do with the Suicide Squad or Task Force X. They just said, nope, it's gone. We're not gonna try and mess with this.
It never happened.
They killed Deadshot as well too. That's what I remember a lot of people being upset with is Floyd Lawton was like a really, really well developed character, had backstory with like Diggle from Arrow and his brother, and that was all going on in season 4. Right when they announced the Suicide Squad and Will Smith, and they're like, yeah, we can't have two people playing Deadshot, and we can't have two people playing Harley Quinn when it's these big name actors, so they killed them. It was so dumb. And I mean, it didn't alter the story enough for Arrow to like really make a big difference, but like to have those players off the board and say, yeah, you can never explore those again, kind of was like, well, is that really necessary? And looking at it in hindsight with what we've got going on today, not really. Like we have Henry
supposedly,
Cavill.
It was supposed to be a deleted scene. That looks like supposedly.
The Harley Quinn for Arrow. Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, they showed it in one of the episodes. Like they were doing a whole Task Force X storyline with Diggle, and then Lila was an Argus agent, and they were going out on these missions, and then they came back from one, and then it panned to the hallway. There was also like a reference to Cheetah in the same sort of thing, I think. I don't know how I remember that, but I do. We also have like Henry Cavill playing Superman, and I want to say his name's Tyler Hoechlin. I forget how you pronounce it. He's playing Superman and Lois in the CW. So like you have multiple actors playing everything now. And even in the MCU, you have like Aaron Taylor Johnson is my favorite example, Quicksilver, and now Kraven the Hunter. You have like people playing all these multiple different roles.
Well, I mean, that's not the MCU though. That's still Fox.
I guess they're.
No, I guess
it's Sony.
It's
Sony.
Sony. Sorry.
Yeah. No, but even then, like they're trying to connect the universes. Like they have Morbius. We have Morbius coming up. You know, we have Michael Keaton playing the Vulture in that, even though it's Sony stuff. But it's like the same character that's been set up by Marvel. So it's very interesting stuff. What do you guys expect moving forward out of Restore the SnyderVerse? Do you think, I know we've talked about this quite a bit. It's one of my favorite topics, though.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you realistically expect from Discovery buying them out and this merger ending and people posting? I mean, there's like these threads of like, oh, Warner Brothers posted this picture of this aurora, and then there's also this green light that's like almost an aurora behind the Wayne T. Carr Green Lantern picture. And I mean, I don't know how much you can correlate to all that stuff, but like, why would they give the green light to share that version of Green Lantern when people are already demanding for, hey, we want to see this stuff happen, and you're like teasing them almost.
Well, it's to get people excited ultimately.
Yeah, like it could have been like a what if per se, you know.
I don't think it will be a what if. Like, they're going to do something with it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I want to say that too. It's a hard line to walk because there's like so many things that like they have going that are already getting delayed too, which again we've talked about recently.
Well, I actually think that's probably the reason why it's getting all delayed.
Yeah,
everything is getting delayed because of this merger and because Discovery has all these ideas for the like stuff. And so they're like, okay, well, we got to make this work. We got to make this work. We got to make this work. Yeah. Like, all these random things, right? Mm-hmm. So they're trying to make sure that everything is going to be
on the same page.
Yeah.
I agree.
And ultimately, I think they do want to do like the DC universe.
I hope
and try to connect in all these different storylines. And like I was saying in our last episode, I really think that this delay on the Flash movie is the connecting piece for everything.
Yeah, because I think this is like, with Flashpoint being the story that it is, and Barry's powers being timeline adjusting and world shifting, you get the chance to, this is a shitty way to say it, but fix any mistakes you've made. Whereas, like, Marvel doesn't have anything like that, nor do they need it.
I mean, they've made their own mistakes, but like ultimately, they like.
I mean, the most well-known mistake would be the Hulk, pretty much. Hulk won't get a solo film.
Yeah, the Incredible Hulk is like one of the in choosing, like, there's like a couple actors who they've had to recast, like Rhodey, and obviously they had to get rid of they had to replace
Norton.
I don't know why I couldn't come up with his name. Norton with Ruffalo. So, like, those are their biggest mistakes, though. Whereas, like, here you have Batman, Ben Affleck, saying, hey, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And so you have to, if that's really the case, which I only hope that it's a front, but if that's really the case and he really doesn't want to be a part of this universe anymore, you get to rewrite that and change and put whoever you want in his place and say, oh yeah, this guy shifted because he has like reality bending, time travel shifting ability. And this is like the one story that changes kind of everything for him.
Correct.
And for everyone. And I don't know what they're going to do with the actual Flashpoint storyline, if they're going to follow the Flashpoint Paradox movie. But if they are, they've kept it very under wraps because I haven't heard anything about Gal Gadot or Jason Momoa on the set there at all. And maybe the reason they're pushing it back is so that they can, do that sequence. I don't know, where they fight and kill each other, so.
Yeah, well, like I said, the most likely they are going to do the Flashpoint, pretty much, the Flashpoint Paradox. That's like the only reason why they got to make this type of Flash to at least, like you said, have at least everything connected.
Yeah, I mean, it's a super hard movie to pull off, and if they had gotten everything right over the last few years, it'd already be out. But there's a reason why it wasn't released in 2018.
Yeah,
and we'll see what happens. When you think about it, like the Justice League that came out in 2017 was Joss Whedon's version, and then a year later they're like, yes, let's put out this Flash movie that's like a continuation of this story, and then it had terrible reviews. And so I don't know, there's like so many things that you can attribute to it being backed up, but I just hope for the best, I guess.
Well, ultimately, if we do get anything connected to Zack Snyder, it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
Because he's got a few projects.
He does.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing.
Yep.
Because he's got Rebel Moon, which looks like it's almost done.
Yeah.
Fountainhead, and then Planet of the Dead, which is a continuation of the Army of the Dead series.
Nice. I like that.
And the TV series.
Ooh, nice. I didn't know that was going to be a TV series.
The TV series is called Lost Vegas.
Lost Vegas.
It's in post-production. It should be out fairly soon, it looks like.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Yeah, the thing is what's nice for DC in that situation is they have time to develop everything. Mm-hmm. And they don't have to rush a Justice League 2. They can give it a couple years for things to process and mend over. They have a couple good hits with these next few movies that they're releasing. They continue the darkish, more dark storylines, and they do well. They're well received, and then they're in a position to go, okay, yeah, let's actually do this thing and make the story that they were meant to. Fingers crossed.
So, like, with this new merge, let's hope to give Snyder the green light to, like, say, hey, we heard about your idea about these two.
These other freaking nerds over here didn't get the vibe, didn't get the right vibe from it because they're dumb.
Yeah, so we'll give you the green light to, like, redo that project again, or at least reintroduce it or whatever.
Yeah, get to
re-improvise or reproduct.
Rejoin the team.
There you go.
Yeah, because I mean, like, they can do a Legion of Doom movie before they have to do Justice League 2, you know what I mean? Like, they can set up a Legion of Doom and, like, have them fight the Justice League and not call it a Justice League movie. They can call it Legion of Doom, and then they do a Justice League 2 against Darkseid whenever that needs to happen, in the progression of things. It doesn't have to be Justice League 2 at any point anytime soon. So, it's a big anniversary, 1 year. I can only imagine what we'll know about their projects going forward at the end of this year and, when they announce anything next year. Because I'm sure they probably have a bunch of, like, unreleased footage and stuff still that they can just, like, every single year they're just going to put more pressure on Warner Brothers by, like, hey, Restore the SnyderVerse again. It's happening this year. Next year, hey, here's this. Hey,
look, it's been 2 years. Hey, look, it's been 3 years. Hey, it's been 5 years.
And then there's still, like, the same amount of support. Like, imagine, like, 3 years down the road, it's still getting, instead of, like, 600,000 retweets, it's now at 700,000 because more people have had time to, like, watch the SnyderVerse and more people like it. 700,000 retweets in 2 days. And they go, all right, this movement is not dying. We need to give the people what they want. And so...
Yep. Call Snyder saying, Snyder, we need you.
We need you. Call in the cavalry. But anyways, those are some big numbers to hit, and we're going to talk about some other big numbers. Yeah. So, there's been a lot of big numbers happening in comic book recent history. I don't know what the right thing to say is there. Obviously, what we just talked about is the 500 to 600,000 retweets in 2 days for Zack Snyder's Justice League. But there's also been some sales of comics and a lot of box office numbers being put into comparison that we want to discuss as well today. So, anybody want to start with the comic that just sold for
2.4 million?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it is... I'm trying to find the... It's actually Marvel Comics #1.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh.
The official first comic.
It was published in 1939.
Mm-hmm. It's like 80 years old.
So it sold recently in an auction that has... In the auction, they had it graded by the comic book grading company, whatever they're called. I can't remember what it is.
I think that's actually it. CGC is like the acronym for it. So there's like PSA for Professional Sports Authority.
But they graded it a 9.2, and then by looking at this like picture, the comic looked pristine. So I'm actually gonna save it and put it in our chat real quick. So we can potentially use it.
It's pretty dang impressive. Yeah.
But it shows the Human Torch and Neymar, or at the time Submariner, the Angel and Masked Rider are all in this
in the first edition.
Comic.
Yeah.
It's crazy that it's like such a freaking.
It's so old. Like if you look how good that picture looks. I would pull it up right now. I will have a link in the description if you want to go take a look at the actual article. The book itself it's a 9.2, which is like nearly perfect. You max out at 10. A 9 out of 10 is like pretty hard to get for something that old. And the fact that it's like a 9.2 is just, it's bonkers. Somebody had found it in like a old filing cabinet at one point, I think, and then it got passed down through a couple hands, and they kept it like in super good condition. I don't know when it got graded. I don't know if the article says that, like what year they had sent it in or submitted it to get graded, but that's when they put it in the slab with the grade on it. And so then once it's in there, it stays in that condition basically for the rest of its life. And so like that's what I do with my cards and stuff. I actually don't have any examples because I took them all to my room I'm doing like this card of the day series and stuff like that. So, but literally like you get actually I might have some behind me. Let me look.
So
never came back.
Apparently the dude that was selling it this time sold it because he wanted to buy a house.
Yeah.
Smart man.
That's what you do with your collectibles when they get valuable.
But the copy passed through several hands from the time that it was discovered in a filing cabinet, the location of which was unclear in 2003. So when it was found in 2003,
that's when
it sold for $350,000.
Wow. I mean, that's nowhere near what it sold for recently, but...
And then it looks like they got it graded shortly after that.
Sorry, hold on. You said so that was in 2003 for $350,000?
Yeah.
That's before MCU.
Yep, way before.
So it went from 350 to then MCU blowing up to now.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. So this is what a slab looks like for those of you who don't want to go and click the link. This isn't from any like realistically good grading company. It's just world-class grading.
But what do
WGC.
you have over there? What is that? Are you holding? What kind of card
Bryant.
is that? There you go.
Los Angeles Lakers. I forget what year it is. 1996-97 Skybox. 23 karat gold card. Rookie purple signature limited edition. I didn't spend very much on this. It's not like a crazy rare card. But like that's what it'll ultimately look like in the slab. But instead of a card, it's a comic. And I think CGC is like the expert for grading comics, whereas like PSA, you'll send anything you want that's graded for sports cards there. You can also, it's kind of like the go-to for Pokemon cards as well. You can get other collectibles graded. I could send any of those in to get a grade, and it'll grade like how good the box is and whatnot. I don't know the actual grading system now that I think about it for comics. I wonder what that is.
It's basically like the how well the pages are kept care of. Are there any visible creases?
Okay.
Like, especially with the older ones, like because they were designed not to really last, because they're printed on pulp paper.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
oh, man.
You're not really supposed to like have them last that long. So
the fact that this one did,
Yeah, I mean the quality is going to be low regardless of like if you like.
Oh yeah.
Like
Even
want to flip it open and read it. Yeah. I mean, not that you're going to.
You shouldn't.
No.
Something that old,
you're not going to break into it and start reading that one.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
But like, so that particular comic had 880,000 copies.
Right.
880,000.
And when it was printed, originally it cost 2 cents, which is about $2 nowadays.
Yeah. Wow. So, $2 or a 2-cent investment back then.
Yep.
That got passed down through the family or whatever.
It found in a filing cabinet, sold to another dude, bought for $350,000, and then sold again for $204 million or 2.4 million.
That's still just nutty. It's just imagine finding something like that. Like in a storage shed or something. What was the last previous like highest sold Marvel comic book? If I remember correctly, it should be
it's
around
like the
16.
first appearance of Spider-Man or the first appearance of Wolverine.
Yeah.
The Incredible Hulk one.
Mm-hmm. I want to say it was like, oh man.
But
something
they,
tells me like 16
from what
million.
I remember, usually only sell for like not only but like 53,000.
Okay, interesting. Something remind us for whatever reason I'm thinking of a 16.
So 10 most expensive Marvel comics.
Here we go. That's what I want to see.
Stupid comic book rant.
Dang it. Gosh, dang it.
Stuff. Avengers number 1 is worth around 39,000.
Okay.
X-Men is number 1 is worth 48.5 thousand.
Wow. Are these
Marvel Mystery Comic number 9, Battle of Fire and Water, is worth 64,000.
Are those just as is, or are these?
I think it's like at like the highest rated one that somebody has found.
Okay. That makes sense.
Number 7 is Journey into Mystery, number 83. It's a Thor comic.
Okay.
Spider-Man number 1.
Nice.
That one doesn't have a price tag on it. But if the Thor one, the Battle of Frost and Fire, or Fire and Water, is 64,000, and then the Journey into Mystery and the Amazing Spider-Man one don't have
any price tags.
But then the Incredible Hulk 1 is for 100,000. So I imagine it's probably going to be like 72 and 84 or something. Yeah, somewhere around in there.
Somewhere in between.
Okay.
Then Fantastic Four number 1. This is like the true start of the Marvel age.
Yeah.
That one doesn't have a price tag on it, but I'm pretty sure
I want to say that
I have seen this one for like 150,000.
I think it's like 116 or 160. That's where I'm getting that number.
Yeah.
Like the most recent copy sold for 120K
was the last time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Marvel Comics number 1, which just set the new record again. The one that we've been talking about. That it was a $200,000 comic. Now it's a $2.4 million comic.
Mm-hmm.
That's also given the standard grade. I don't think we're gonna see another one that's like a 9.2.
It's like an NFT you can hold.
Oh God.
Captain America number 1, the one where he's punching out Hitler.
Ooh.
That sells for 400K.
Dang. Wow.
And then Amazing Fantasies number 15, the first ever actual Spider-Man comic, is 335K.
That's a lot of money to blow on one book.
And this is just Marvel, not even talking about
this isn't like a Golden Age, Silver Age DC stuff.
Yeah, no,
correct.
Super crazy, the DC ones.
I imagine the Superman holding the car. I kind of want to know what that is, but we could save that for another time. The
I
other
can find that
numbers,
really quick, actually.
yeah, if you want to do that while I introduce this next part, the other piece that we want to talk about numbers wise, and not have like a debate on, but just kind of discuss the implications of box office numbers, is a lot of people have been pinning the Batman against Spider-Man No Way Home, since those are two of the most Marvel and DC recent films, and they're both very popular.
Before we jump too far into that, I got a number for you already.
Wow, that was fast.
Here it is.
4.2 million unverified.
Wow.
The highest record sale for the Superman Action Comics #1.
That's got to be the highest for any comic ever.
I think it is.
Because that's almost double. I mean, not almost, but
the minimum value for that one is 125,000.
That's like a beat up copy. That's not.
Yeah, the average sell for the Action Comics #1 on eBay is 3.25 million.
What?
Okay. So if you can find it on eBay, it's going to be about 3.25.
Holy My God, that's a lot of money. Holy cow. Okay.
Okay.
These are big numbers.
Back onto topic.
Numbers. Okay, so a lot of people have been pinning the Batman movie versus Spider-Man No Way Home. Their box office numbers are not going to match up exactly, but we kind of want to talk about where we think the Batman might end up overall for box office sales, and where Spider-Man No Way Home has ended now that it's out of its theatrical release, and just about like the implications and why. I don't know why fans necessarily do this and why they can't just love both like us, but a lot of fanboys on either side are pinning the blame on, it's this is the reason why that's not as popular as this, or making excuses or whatnot. So we're going to kind of talk about that, and we don't care because we love them both, but other people seem to care about this stuff, so we're going to talk about it. So box office numbers as of like today, when we're recording this on March 23rd, is Spider-Man No Way Home in the box office raked in 1.8 billion worldwide.
1.8?
Yeah, 1.8 billion. And right now, the Batman is at 1/3 of that at 600 million. So if you double that, you get 1.2 billion, and then add another 600. You end up at
I'm reading here some stuff saying it got a 1.100. Well, I can't fucking say numbers. 1.132 billion box office.
That might be domestic, or
was it?
Yeah, because that might just be in here. I know worldwide that it's at 1.8 billion. So it might be.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah, okay, I see it now. I see the worldwide one.
Yep, there we go.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what they're at worldwide as of like today, or as of yesterday when I read this stuff. And then Spider-Man spent about, I don't know the exact number of days, but about 90 days in theaters, whereas the Batman hasn't spent its full 45 days in theaters, but it has a contract with HBO Max to, after the 45 days are up, go straight to HBO Max, and that day comes on April 19th. So we've got about 30 more days. So the film came out on March 4th.
Oh yeah, March 4th.
For the Batman. So it's been like 3.5 weeks, which is about like 18 days, and then you got another almost 30 or whatever to round that out to 45.
Well, I'm looking here. It says in release was 96 days / 13 weeks for Spider-Man No Way Home.
Wait, so it said how many days exactly?
13 weeks.
13 weeks. So 13
in
times
release.
7 is 91 days. Yeah, so just about 90 days.
96 days.
So
96 in total.
I'm looking at some of the other box office scores of Batman's, and it seems that Batman just doesn't do great in box office in comparison. I mean,
Interesting.
This one got how much? 600 and what million?
600 million as of right now, but it's only gone through a little over a third of its lifespan. So it's like gone like it's like been 20 something days.
Okay. So this is adjusted with inflation, of course, but the Batman, the Michael Keaton against the Joker one, with inflation would have gotten a box office score of 411.6 million.
411.
That is the current highest out of box office rating.
Wow.
For like any Batman.
Damn.
Batman Begins, the one where everybody, with Christopher Nolan, that says it's like the best Batman movie of all times, was 373.7 million.
What? That's super low. I'm trying to think if that just doesn't make sense to me. What?
Well, which one, Batman Begins or the other one?
Is this with inflation?
Batman Begins.
That's like adjusting for inflation?
No, wasn't there? No. I mean, there was the thing that happened in Denver and Denver with the shooting.
Oh.
Well, that was with the Joker.
Yeah. No, but that was on the third one.
That was the Dark Knight.
Was it during the third one?
Actually, I don't remember when that was.
Was that the Dark Knight or the Dark Knight Rises?
Dark Knight Rises, I believe.
I want to say it was the Dark Knight Rises. The guy got the inspiration from the Dark Knight, like from Heath Ledger's Joker.
Okay.
He was a wacko.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. But regardless, Batmans just don't seem to do super great. But then again, you have to think of it maybe they're doing really well, and then Marvel is just the outlier because they just do fantastic.
Well,
yeah, that is true, and I mean it is true, and not to mention that everyone's been wanting to see what's going to happen next with the whole trailers. Everyone was hyping on Spider-Man like there was no tomorrow, pretty much in general.
If you think about it, the Batman Begins, that one, it didn't have all these people going, "Oh my God, it's such a it's gonna be so good." It's there was a big hiatus of Batman movies, especially since the last Batman movie before it. What was it? It was the Batman and Robin.
Yeah, Bat Nipples.
Yeah.
Clooney.
That one was considered a complete flop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I mean it had too many weird casts, Schwarzeneggers and them. Yeah.
Yeah. So
strange.
The difference between, I guess it wasn't a huge time difference, because Batman and Robin was 1997 and then Batman Begins was 2005. But with it coming off of a bad Batman movie and then going into what is arguably one of the best Batman movies ever, people didn't want to probably go to the Batman Begins.
People weren't expecting it to be so good. Do you have the numbers there for the Dark Knight? Because I feel
Dark Knight,
that might have been pretty high up there after the first one did so well.
Let me see. I'm trying to open it.
No worries, no rush. After this, I have a little side bet we have to make.
Yeah, more gambling addiction.
The Dark Knight got 1.005 billion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay,
that makes sense because I was I feel like the Dark Knight and even maybe the Dark Knight Returns are super high on the box office sales of all time or whatever.
Yeah, I get you.
Or not super high.
I mean, the only reason why the Dark Knight
0.081 billion.
Dark Knight was more successful because unfortunately with the untimely death for Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a mess up as that sound, I mean, that's kind of this whole purpose to do really well.
But also, I think that the good traffic of hey, the Batman Begins was great, and then people saw it.
Yeah.
From renting it or whatever after the fact, even after theaters, even though it had a bad theatrical run, then it gained enough traction, and Heath Ledger being the Joker and whatnot. And all that, the circumstances,
and not to mention, Warner Brothers or whoever does Batman movies, they like to make, more and more Batman movies. Yeah, and there's too many. There's too many Batman movies in general.
Yeah, How about the Lego Batman movie? How did that? Just kidding. Just kidding.
I look forward to it.
It actually did well.
I think it did too.
So,
it was good. I loved Will Arnett.
Lego Batman.
Lego.
Ultimately, I want to do a place your bets.
312 million.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah,
So, well, it was definitely a kid's movie, so I think that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to do a place your bets on. Again, this isn't for any money that we're putting up, but just out for fun. Where do we think the Batman will end up at the end of its run? So we can do this. I mean, you've got like 30 days, 29, 28, 27, 26, like 26 days left in theaters, and it's been about like in theaters for about 20-ish days or something, or 19 days. If it came out on the 4th, so it's been out 19 days so far, and it's got like 26 left to go in its theatrical run, and it's made 600.
It goes on to the 16th.
The 19th, I want to say, actually. So 19th. maybe it's a couple days over 45.
So we got about a month.
It's
a
about
month and 2 days.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got some time. Where do we think it ends up total? Do we think it breaks $1 billion if it's already at 600 million? If it's got over half of the time left to go? Or I know opening weekend is where a majority of movies make their money. Do we think that time has passed for the $1 billion break? Or, I mean, we're not experts on this, but if you had to take a guess, if you had to place a number on it, where do you think it ends up?
Well, if our high-low, like if we're going, it will break $1 billion or not, I'm saying it will not. I think it's going to end up at like 890 million,
That's not a bad guess.
maybe low 900 millions.
Okay.
I think its first initial weekend kind of killed it.
Really interesting. Okay.
Did it?
Yeah. It didn't have the greatest first initial weekend of.
Yeah.
I don't think they didn't get what they expected out of it.
I think they did like a lot of marketing to try and get people to come, but it didn't. It wasn't super successful.
I thought it had a successful week. I mean, I saw it over the weekend.
It did have a decent. I think it had like just under 300 million opening weekend or something like that.
Yeah, but it was still
week.
better than like the last two Dark Knight movies.
That's true.
I think the biggest like downside to it though is that the trailers didn't necessarily explain what was going to happen in the movie.
No, they kept it almost too ambiguous.
And I think that's what killed it, because they wanted to keep it ambiguous because they didn't want people to like figure out what was going to happen. Like, oh, it's the Joker. He's doing all this stuff. Like, it's really hard to do.
I think you mean Riddler.
Or Riddler. Sorry.
Spoilers.
Riddler. He's going to be doing all this stuff. Like, they didn't want to like show that
they didn't want to show his plans or give away any of like the minor details of what he's planning.
I mean, given that we have seen the movie and know what the movie is, I think making a trailer based off of the movie was going to be hard regardless.
Yeah, it's
and I
it's
think
like
that's probably why I wasn't super excited by it with all of the trailers that I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, the last trailer got me a little excited for it, but like still not enough to go, oh, I have to go out and see this.
Yeah. It's more
like I saw it a week after it came out.
Yeah,
so it's like
it's almost too much of a detective movie to like be like, yes, here's a trailer for an action movie, because it's like it's guesswork, detective work, and like all the great stuff is about like Batman and Jim Gordon like unraveling this trail that the Riddler's trying to like take them on. So that's what's great about it, and you can't really show any of that in the trailer without, it's hard because you can't give away any of the clues or any of the things that like they're gonna discover, because then it's not like you can't show the thumb drive or whatever, or any of the other horrible things.
They did the secondary trailer market too, the one that got like a lot of people really excited for the movie, but the standard affair of people that aren't going to do the deep dive and go to the website and find all these clues and do the decipher or like do the cipher, like, and do all that stuff, like, weren't going to be excited for the movie.
No, not at all.
So they got the people that were going to be excited to go opening weekend, and then the word of mouth people the following weekend when they're like, oh, well, no, the movie was really good.
Great,
and then
I swear.
They see the box office like ratings and stuff, and they're like, okay, it's good enough to go see. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
So I think with the trailer just being not something that could be necessarily a great trailer without giving away too much of the movie, it really hurt them on this one. Not that the movie is terrible in any means. Like I really love the movie.
I'm quite the opposite on that one. What you're saying? I'm quite the opposite. But
You're the opposite.
I'm the opposite.
You love the trailers.
I love the trailers. All the trailers were good in general.
Ooh, okay.
I'm quite the opposite of what you're saying. But
yeah, I think they didn't give away much. I can agree with that. I think that I really liked the first trailer with the shot of him like approaching the Penguin's car. I was like, damn, that's badass. I'm gonna go see it. But I mean, other than I was gonna go see it regardless, specifically because we do this. But I mean, even as
what do we do?
If we weren't doing this podcast, I still would have been like, oh yeah, that's dope. I want to see that Batman movie. Even though there's all the people saying, oh, Robert Pattinson, blah blah blah, you know, I would have just ignored it all and still gone, and then been like, holy fuck. So
I don't know. I was still on the. I really wanted them to do Timothy Holt.
Ooh. Okay.
Or Nicholas Holt. Nicholas Holt.
One of the Holts.
It's Nicholas Holt, I believe. Let me make sure that I'm not, killing myself.
Oh gosh, digging your own grave. Yeah, I really like. I mean, I didn't love the trailers by any means, but I definitely saw that one shot of the car flip and then Batman approach it while he's upside down. I was like, oh, this is gonna be
I think that was the best part of the trailers, though.
Yeah, that was the best part. The only part that drove me to actually want to see it. Literally, that's it.
And for me, that was the best part of the trailer. There was nothing else. That's the only real action-packed stuff that they had with it. And then
there was there's one other scene. There was the initial train fight scene where the guys get off the train and he says, "I'm vengeance." That scene kind of too got me hyped up.
That scene. There was also just the dark scene where he goes into the hallway and they all shoot him, which also was
that
phenomenal.
In the trailers?
That was in the trailers. That was in the first trailers.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that for.
Yeah, remember because he goes into before he takes the elevator and he kind of everything goes dark.
Yeah.
The power goes down and then they start shooting him with his bulletproof.
Yep.
Armor set.
They did show part of that in the trailers.
Yeah.
Yep, they did.
That was in the second trailer.
I want to say that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think they could have had a really good one cohesive trailer to get everybody in.
Yeah, if they if they could even do what Marvel does and just bait us with the wrong details of a story, so that we're surprised when the Riddler is going somewhere else with it. You know what I mean? So
that wouldn't be. I mean, they could do that, but that would not be their MO. Pretty much their motive.
Well, they could train. Yeah. They could shift it.
They could, but I don't see them doing that in general.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, no, I think overall I was just a little lower on the movie than the both of you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Especially at the start. I think the movie was great, and I love it now.
Oh yeah.
But going into it, I was I don't have to see this movie.
Yeah. I get it.
Just kind of with the Eternals, where it's I don't have to see this movie. I waited
until it came out on Disney Plus.
I'm with you.
But I think I was also a little down on it, personally, because I would have rather had Nicholas Holt as Batman, just because I think he would be a great Bruce Wayne.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Maybe not the best Batman, but if they did a story where it's about Bruce Wayne, I think he would be a great Bruce Wayne.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. So you said right around. You think it'll end right around, like 890,
probably
low
800,
900.
Yeah, probably a little under 900 million.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the same. 900, at least under 900.
I want to say
It's
it's
not gonna
gonna
reach a
be
billion.
950. I think there's gonna be like some push from some DC fanboys to like get everybody to go out last second to try and get it there before it comes to HBO. My other kind of curiosity.
I think the downside is that it will just go straight to HBO.
Yeah, that is a
So
downside.
like anybody who wants to go see it is like, oh well, I can just wait till it hits HBO Plus.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
So
or Max or whatever HBO.
It's Max. It's Max.
Yeah, and that's like the thing that I see a lot of people like criticizing. There's like Marvel fanboys who go, "Oh, your movie's barely making any money. Even Captain Marvel made more," and trying to like pin like a hey pre-COVID movie where everybody was going to the movies and is part of a big cohesive universe to a solo story
Not
about the
part of
Batman that's not part of anything yet.
Like
That is like post-COVID, people are like scared to go out still, and the people that aren't, or the people that are scared to go out are just going to wait for HBO Max. Because like I guarantee you, the first week it's on HBO Max, the numbers are fucking gonna shoot like through the roof. A lot of people are gonna be watching that. I would, anybody who hasn't gone in theaters that loves comic books is probably gonna watch it just to be like, I'm kind of curious. So
probably,
like, I mean, not that they track this. There's no sales of the Batman once it hits HBO Max, but like if they were gonna charge a ticket per all of those for the first like
views, pretty much.
Yeah, for the first like 45-ish days to like hit that 90 mark that No Way Home did, if they sold the number of tickets that they did for how many plays it gets, I guarantee you it's probably close to the 1.8 billion by then, maybe, or like at least like 1.4, 1.5 at the very lowest, I think. So
for the Batman?
Yeah, for the Batman. Like if you counted like the number of views over the first 45 days on HBO Max as an individual ticket sale, like then the numbers might be. I don't know
that, yeah, but like even with the box office, like with the HBO like views, like it's assuming that
only one person is watching it, and it could be a whole family of like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah,
that's true. But yeah, I like I said, that's why I said it could even be as low as like 1.4 or 1.5. So
yeah, like when I went to the movie, like our theater was like half full, and it was the week after.
Yeah,
like it came out.
I think my theater the night, because I went that Thursday night that it released, I think there was not very many people there. There was nobody next to me directly, and I think there was like 2 or 3 seats on each side of me empty, if not like most of the row. So there wasn't a ton of people there even on the early showings.
Well, when we saw Spider-Man, our theater was packed.
Yeah,
so it's 100%. Just the difference of like the DC Spider-Man at the moment, or DC Marvel.
Yeah, just
at the moment, like
how the universes are built.
Because everyone was actually really hyped up about this. Because once they saw Goblin, once they saw Doc Ock and all them, they're like, okay, who else is gonna be in this?
True. But like, I think if it was like a Shang-Chi or an Eternals at that time, like something that like people weren't super as high on, it would probably have the same kind of outcome as Batman.
Batman's had. Yeah, agreed.
Which is fair. Well, although Shang-Chi was a little bit more better though than Eternals, I'm gonna say.
Shang-Chi
is great.
Shang-Chi's amazing. Which we actually still need to do. I have on my board here that like the next thing that we need to do is review Shang-Chi, because we still haven't done it yet. I just did this one last night, the Enchantment Theory. Yeah, so here coming up towards the end of the month, March 30th, we have Moon Knight, like we talked about at the beginning of the episode. Young Justice Season 4, the back half of that season is going to be on me. I was going to cover The Flash, however...
Is that on HBO?
Young Justice is on HBO. yeah, so I'll be covering that. I was going to cover The Flash. I'm a little bit behind, but I still might try and catch up on that. I don't know if it's going to be as interesting as I thought it was, actually, is the problem. So we'll see how that goes. I may or may not do that series. If you guys are interested in it and you do want to see it, let me know in the comments. Anything else? Closing thoughts, guys?
No.
Okay. That's probably everything we've got this week. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching the Irresponsible Comic Book Podcast. We're here every week now. Our episodes release Monday morning at 10 a.m. So stay tuned for next week, or whenever you're seeing this. Yep. Stay tuned for the next Monday at 10 a.m. We'll be dropping an episode. They'll all premiere, so you get to watch it from start to finish live, pretty much, sort of, in a way. Sometimes I'm in the chat, sometimes I'm not, depending on if I have to work that day. So sometimes you'll be there chatting with me, or sometimes
Monday mornings I'm always putting a truck order together. So
that sounds about right. Yeah. So yeah. But anyways, thanks for watching. We'll have a Shang-Chi review here soon. Moon Knight's coming up. Yep. We have those the Teaching Moms Marvel series that'll probably be coming out sometime a couple days after each episode of Moon Knight.
I'm in the process of rewatching a couple things so I can make some videos on them.
Ooh. Yeah, so we got a lot coming on. We also still in development on the website. I've been working on that here and there every couple days. So we'll have articles coming out very soon on certain projects. I also just watched Deep Water. I'll have a review on that sometime this week. It's a very fantastic movie. You should definitely not watch that movie. And then also I'm going to be watching either tonight even or tomorrow The Lost City. Have you guys seen the trailers for that at all?
Is that the one with Sandra Bullock and
Brad Pitt,
Channing
Daniel
Tatum?
Radcliffe, Channing Tatum. Yep.
Yeah. It looked interesting.
It looks super funny. I think it'll be hilarious. It's like this. Okay, for a brief synopsis, I don't want to drag this episode out longer than it has to be, but it's essentially this novelist, Sandra Bullock, who writes this story about this fictional savior character who always goes and rescues this damsel in distress. And
that's
it's
portrayed as Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum, who portrays the character in a live-action version of the book. And they go out and do these tours, and she gets kidnapped by an actual group of people who think they're trying to get something from her. Or
they think that her stories are true, so they're telling her that, like, because her stories are true, she knows she's like a prophet or something, of like a treasure.
Yeah, and so Channing Tatum decides to go out and be the character he plays in the book/movies, and goes out to save Sandra Bullock. And I think he fails initially. He's kidnapped by Daniel Radcliffe with Sandra Bullock. They get captured again, and then Brad Pitt comes in as the actual savior for them, and the actual character from the books, and fulfills like this prophecy or whatever. And then it should
I didn't know Brad Pitt was in it too.
Yeah, Brad Pitt's like the actual.
You might just spoil the whole movie right now.
Sorry, no, it's in the trailers. So,
I mean, I thought about potentially going to go see it because it does look interesting.
It looks pretty funny.
But let's say that another time, guys. We're already wasting enough time here.
So, yeah, no, I'll probably have a review for that here soon as well. So stay tuned for all of that stuff coming up. Lots of good stuff. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you in the next episode. Till next Monday. Peace.
Whoosh. Bye.
Bye.